Leos, and welcome to your monthlies. So let's see what April has in store for you and what's going to be the best way to move forward. So again, guys, you know, all these regulars, I don't have to be just one more person to say stay safe. Staying safe is the best done with keeping 2 meters, 8 feet away. That's the best way to go, because they found that the molecule is so small and it is actually heavier than oxygen molecule, so it's going to fall down on the ground. You're not going to get it from the air, but you'll get it from touching your nose and stuff. And so that's why, you know, if you don't have anything to touch, so disinfect your packaging, etc., so everything else can be okay. So let's see. You have the floating cat. You guys are literally feeling, oh my god, everything is upside down. Like, I mean, I need to land on my feet. This is a little bit different interpretation than in the other decks, right? Because here clearly there is like not feeling stuckness. It is just reassessing the situation from a completely different perspective. This is a very, very positive card, and it's the major that came out right out of the gate. This is also representing God in tarot. It's one of the few majors that actually do that. Technically, Fool is a human interpretation of God, but this is literally, okay, so hey, this is really how it feels over here. So it is kind of like understanding and comprehension for other things that are going on. This is crossed with the Tower. This is really interesting. You might have a situation, and this may and may not actually be this combination affect you directly. This combination is simply talking about that it can be something sudden, it can be something unexpected. Tower moment is not fun to be through, and clearly we are all going through a form of tower moment. That means that even though if you know that something is up and something is coming, it still comes as unexpected. It still comes as whoa and shocking, right? Tower generally really talks about something that needs to be built properly. It needs to be built from the ground in a proper way. It needs to kind of like go in that direction, right? So Tower is really telling us that we really need to reassess. This is affecting everybody equally, from the rich to the poor. This kind of like doesn't discriminate anything, not the color, not the condition, nothing like that. And because you have been looking at that from the above, it almost looks to me, look at it, the sun is shining over here, but here we have those tumultuous skies, right, where everything is torn apart. You kind of like really feel this disaster. This also can predict, in particular in this deck, earthquakes and some kind of like sea issues that are happening on top of everything. So maybe this reassessment, or you're looking at something that is maybe happening maybe to somebody close to you, but nonetheless to somebody who is important to you, that their situation is affecting you. This is really telling me that lots of Leos that are listening to this are very empathic, and you're really feeling stress for people around you that are really affected, even for the strangers, because this is simply can mean that you will have one of those, you want to have one of the roles, you want to have one of the abilities to actually contribute in this entire situation. You don't know how. This kind of like is really telling you that you need to bide your time. You need to kind of understand the issues before you actually leave, before you move forward. So this is really important. And then you have Three of Earth over here. Three of Earth is about cooperation, about ability to bring issues and people together, to kind of like see them what you are seeing. They're like hunting this beautiful bug. Each of them on their own cannot do anything, but together they can kind of like join in a project together. So this is about kind of like collaboration. So interestingly enough, they are telling us about social distancing, and they're clearly good at it at this particular card. This is more or less saying, never mind, I'm going through all of that. There is like really need on one hand to do that, but on the other hand to kind of come closer. It's really interesting how you're taking like almost like a wisdom role, a wise role here in this situation. If I were to read this applicable to your love situation, I would say that you are in some kind of state of suspension, that something is going on. Maybe you are observing somebody who is falling apart, and maybe you are waiting for them to rebuild. Maybe you are just understanding that they have to do it on their own. Maybe you want to help and you cannot help. Maybe they're not letting you to help. All kinds of things like that can happen. So what are you bringing from the past? You're bringing 8 of Earth. It's reversed. This is really relating to your sister card, which is Strength, which is number 8, Major Arcana. Here we see Mommy Cat venturing out and saying, okay, it's time to teach you new lessons. It's time to show you around. It's time for you to understand the tools of the kitty trade. But it was reversed. It felt that maybe there were some kind of details that were falling apart, and maybe this is why something fell apart over here. It was like somebody was stocking something on top of something else, and there's something on the bottom didn't have the firm base for one reason or another, and hence the structure didn't fulfill. Which means you have been building relationships on bad grounds. You have been building, maybe you're at a job that you don't like. Maybe you're dealing with people who are giving you a whole bunch of platitudes and you're just not feeling sincerity, right? Because there were some details that you didn't look at in the past. And right now you're actually seeing them, but somehow almost like feels like you're withdrawn from it. You're not, I really don't feel this tower is really affecting you personally. We'll see more about it. And look at this 3 of Earth is now mirroring this 3 of Sea. It's very similar flavor, except that you might be dealing with some kind of foreigner, maybe somebody who is across the sea. It's, look at this, the 2 kitties are getting this, what is this, a sea lion, to join them, or sea dog. And it's really interesting that this is all talking about bringing strengths together, not finding a difference. So working toward merging versus feeling distant. You are maybe, this also maybe can talk about big picture, kind of big picture thinking. And that can be also very important, not only for the global things that are going on, but also for your very, very personal things. I need to back up a little bit because the little mini lion actually showed up over here. So let's see what is immediate in front of you. You have the Hermit. There is another Major Arcana. Hermit is a really good card. It doesn't talk about loneliness. It more or less talks about solitude. There are like issues, and we can see it here. You're really in a powerful position. Now only having 3 majors already showing through, you are observant. You're in observant mode. You're looking at things. You're looking at everything that is going on. And I really feel this is the card of wisdom. There's like something really going on. You're like brewing something new. There is like issue of coming together. Maybe you're also reassessing people who you have around you and how they're really acting. You know, they say to see the hero in the real dire situation. And that's kind of like what you are checking out. You know, if you're kind towards somebody you don't have to be, that shows the real strength of character. And it almost like tells me that you are almost like in that mode of that kind of wise man, of that sage mode, something that is pushing you forward. And look at that, and you have a sky kitten. You're also behaving like a little child. There's like something that is really enthusiastic about everything that you're going through. You're asking possibly lots of questions. You're possibly asking lots of why issues. There's like something, as I can see, you really want to resolve something. You are in the early stages of whatever it is going on. This can also talk about the date appearing, and there's like clearly communication. This is lots of words being exchanged. But there is like also this big balance that I'm seeing over here. Like this is a 3, this is a 3, and this is a 3. So the entire tangent is 3. 3 is very good. It's about Venus. It's about nurturing. It's about helping us. It's about beauty. It's about enjoying things that are around you. You are actually seeing beauty around you. You're seeing beauty in things, but most importantly, you're seeing beauty in people. I'm really not necessarily talking here about romantic love, because we're moving here from 8 to 9 over here, right? So 8, 7, 9. So there's like some kind of like setback that is really happening. But I'm still seeing something swerving with activities. Like, I mean, ooh, Look at that. In your environment, you have death. And don't freak out, even though this is a very, very sad card. And oh my freaking God, do not think what I'm thinking. Absolutely not. And this maybe also means looking at this whole situation that is going on. I'm really seeing here, again, guys, it's a big picture thinking, how to bring this big picture to the ground. How to, like, you know, hello, earth, kind of a thing, right? Ground control. This card really talks about losing options, but look at this, it's also raising everything, all of these 9 lives that have contributed every single time you skipped it. So when this shows up in your environment, maybe somebody or something is going to just get out of the picture. I think they are pulling back for some reason, one reason or another. Alternatively, this card can also mean that there is a big transformation taking place over here. That card upright is really actually a good card. It can talk about us. I mean, as much as, interestingly enough, this is 12 and we are going from the 12 to 13. Maybe, you know how sometimes people throw things at other people and they just see how they would really react, right? So at this stage, you're kind of like really coming to some realization about somebody. I mean, that can be very Scorpionic thing, because Scorpio, when it comes in the reading right now, because you're going through pandemic, and I have to really think about it, it's a Venus rising, it's in that sign, that's what it rules death, it rules what's going on. But you're coming up with some genuine solutions. You don't have to be a giant scientist. You don't have to be a genius. You guys are going to find something to contribute, even though it's a minuscule little thing. Right now, this is the time of the opportunity, guys. You must grab it. You must study it. You must observe it, and then you have to act. Then you have to ask proper questions and act. It's lots of wisdom, lots of good things going on. So let's see what is in your hopes and in your fears category. And you have Sea Queen. Sea Queen is like really a big emotional component, which I really think it's kind of, you're given love. You're maybe seeking love. Maybe you're fearing love, but you're wanting love. So it's kind of push and pull. But you know what? This is the Queen that has the biggest cup of all of the cups, the biggest thing pouring over, the things that are really, really happening. So this is really important over here. So there is like this emotional component over here. Maybe you're simply dealing with somebody who needs to change in order for a certain relationship to move forward, in order for this to be true collaboration. Love is okay, but love cannot exist without the proper foundation. So maybe there is just simply this time to rebuild certain things, to kind of address how they kind of like reflect in your life. And then you have like this Six of Fire. It is reversed, but this card, generally both reversed and upright, have the same thing. In fact, reverse can be even a little bit better, because this is outright feeling like a total winner. And this is good. You can be on the top of the world, and we are on the top of the world. We are so happy that we are actually not even able to basically see, or we are unaware of the other people who maybe are not happy and who not necessarily want us to be unhappy, but they're like simply having a really difficult time to process our emotions. So when this really shows up this way, it really means that we are actually able to get it. We are able to connect. You're like literally connecting this month. Things are really, really moving forward. And things are moving forward because you went inward. And because of that ability, certain things are really going to come to the fore. I drew one more card for you, so let's see what it is. And you got Recovery. Well, this card is really having an interesting story. It is really talking about a lady who basically is in her old childhood room, and she is looking at these different items that at the time represented everything to her, right? We all have been in that situation. And for her, it's bringing like so many childhood memories. And then she sees this big wooden door, right, with the light coming through, right? It's going through a keyhole. And she's realizing, okay, I need to get going, I need to move on. So she's gathering up all this kind of like items and still maybe quickly going through all the painful memories she has, but all of a sudden you're seeing them they just kind of like all melt and they form a key. So she realizes this key has to go in a keyhole, right? So kind of like as she's grabbing the key, she is feeling frozen. She's feeling, oh my god, it's so heavy, I just cannot lift it, I cannot do it, I don't know how to really move it forward, right? But all of a sudden she's saying, no, I will do it, I'm not going to let it stop it. So she just pushes this key in the keyhole, and all of a sudden the clarity comes, because she's understanding that survival is no longer enough. She really wants more. So once when that key was used to open the door, you are going to have now a new way of living. This is the one without keys, right? You're heading into some completely different place. There is like a place where has no locks, right? So you're going to in a future that is really inspired. You're getting love, you're getting this soft place to fall, and you're also understanding that the other people in your life need to deal with their own issues. It's not everything that you have to do. Sometimes you just look and just to see, not so much if they are worthy of being in the company of the winner, of the lion over here, the winner, right? But sometimes, you know, being wounded is strength, right? It takes courage to face pain, right? It is something that is kind of like showing the greatness, right? So this is also about understanding. This is also about how to basically unlock the pain from the past and kind of like move into this new kind of like level of understanding. So this is really, really important, right? It is also the detachment that I have seen basically everywhere. It sometimes takes this detachment, but you're not right in the situation. You're really not down in the trenches. You kind of like are seeing that bigger picture, as I have told you, right? So maybe what once have been immaturity, it's now actually growing into this new partnership with spirit or with somebody else, right? So you also need to kind of step back in all the situation and allow angels to bring healing to you, because you're actually really supported, because you're being transferred into some completely new level of being. So my dear Leo, this is really good, this is really nice. If you want a reading with me, contact me at cattarot.ca, and I would like to see your comments, and I would like to know what kind of wisdom you're bringing to the world. Please do share, and you know that I love you and I wish you all the best. Take care, and I'll be probably doing a touch-ups in the middle of the month. So we will see what more we need to look into that. Love you.